Ready for that summer girls trip you've always wanted? Join us this July for a dreamy summer escape to Mexico's Riviera Maya and the Bahamas from beautiful Miami. 5 nights on Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady in a sea terrace room with balcony and hammock. This cruise is adults only and designed for the perfect escape. Spend the day in the spa, lounge by the pool, or dance the night away with friends. Don't let another summer go by without an epic vacation. For more information, visit travelbuggirls.com and click the Girls Trip tab. That's travelbuggirls.com. Welcome to the Travel Bug Girls podcast, the show where we dive into the world of travel, exploring everything from expert tips and insider secrets to unforgettable destinations and the latest trends. Whether you're a seasoned globetrotter or planning your very first adventure, we've got you covered with the advice and inspiration you need to make your travels truly unforgettable. So sit back, relax, and let's take your travel planning to the next level. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Travel Bug Girls podcast. I'm Kimmy, and I'm here with Cassie and Melissa. And today is Melissa's first time with us. So, yay, welcome, Melissa. Glad you're here. So, I just kind of wanted to start out by introducing you to our listeners. So, Melissa, tell us a little bit about you and why you decided to join Travel Bug Girls.
Yeah, so I'm Melissa. I'm 36 years old. I'm a nurse. Just kind of in my background, it's just like helping people is like what I feel like I'm born to do. And I love vacation. Work hard, play hard. So anytime I can go on vacation, I love it. Usually all the vacations I tend to gravitate towards are cruises. So I was like, I've been on a ton of cruises. I feel like I can help people, find a good deal, and it just not even that, just have like a great experience and trip all around. So it just kind of aligned with what I feel like I was born to do.
I love that. Cassie's a nurse too, so that's kind of interesting that we have 2 nurses on our team.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, you brought up cruises. So cruises is your specialty. And what's your favorite place to visit?
Oh man, I love the Caribbean. Probably the Bahamas. It's an all-time favorite. I go there. It's like a quick trip from out of Jacksonville on a cruise. You can do it in it's like a good long weekend trip.
Yeah. It helps that you're right there. Right now they have a cruise port and everything where you can jump on a cruise ship and go. Oh. I'm kind of jealous. So speaking of cruises, real quick, but I want to hear your best cruise tip because we're, heading into summer. A lot of people are going to be going on cruises. What's your best cruise tip?
My best cruise tip is, I would say I always pack the portable, fans, like neck fans in case it's too hot when you get off at a port. And then I always like to look up or talk to somebody who's been to that port before, wherever I'm going, and know ahead of time of what I want to do before I get off the boat. I've been on a few different cruises, and usually when I plan ahead or at least know what I'm interested in, I always have a better time. And I've been on cruises before and they've sold out. Some of the excursions have sold out, and then I'm left disappointed. So just kind of know at least what you want to be interested in and probably pre-book your excursion would be mine.
That's smart. What about you, Cassie?
I've only ever been on one cruise, so I don't guess I'm probably the person to ask. I think that's what cruising is so confusing to me. But I always think if you're a first-time cruiser, probably start off with a lower amount of days, and something that everybody asks me, if you get sick, there's a doctor on board. So if you don't know that you get, or you come upon, we had a day like that on our cruise that it was like a storm was coming in or whatever, but I'm a nurse, so I pack meds. I am prepared, if I'm nothing else. So I had already taken like Dramamine, and then I had Zofran and stuff like that. Luckily, like I didn't have my kids then, so I was pretty decommissioned. I couldn't even stand the curtains to be open. Like I couldn't even stand to see the water. It made me sicker. But I have talked to people that's been on cruises during hurricane season, because that's the cheapest time to go, that have been very ill and like had to have IVs and had to, be heavily medicated with the medical staff on board. So that's my pointer.
That's a good point, because you don't really think about that. Like, it kind of feels like you're left to your own devices on a cruise, but you're really not. I mean, they have, maybe not to like a large extent, but they have pretty much everything you're going to need there, in the moment. So what's your favorite cruise line, Melissa?
So far, I think I still am due to go on a Virgin cruise. So far from what I've researched, I think they're going to be my favorite, but so far, Royal.
Okay. Have you been on the big, like the Icon or any of those yet on Royal?
Not yet. I have a trip coming up soon, hopefully, but
cool. Okay, You're gonna have to take lots of pictures for us. We want to see lots of videos and pictures. I want to see what it looks like. Virgin actually just announced. Have you seen this? I think it's for 2027. But they're having all 4 of their ships are going to be in the Caribbean, and then they're going to like all 4 meet up. And Richard Branson is going to visit all 4 different ships. They're all going different places, like different itineraries, and then they're going to meet up in the Caribbean, I guess. And I don't know, circle around each other. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'll be like real close together. So
just something we did on our cruise. I don't know if Melissa has experience doing it or not, because this has been 17 years ago or something crazy like that. We were poor. So no shocker there. So we didn't sign up on the ship to do the excursions. We like picked one, like the most, that we wanted to do, and that was the excursion we were going to go on with the ship. So at our first port, when we got off, they were like renting cars for like $20, okay? And we were doing a Hawaii one, so you were in port for like 8 hours. So we could rent a car for $25, and we did everywhere at every port that we stopped. We rented a car. And what I did, this was in the time before iPhones and all that fun stuff, and when you had to use maps and brochures and things, I wrote down what they were going to do, like what the excursion was going to be, and we just went and did those things, and then we got all of the things done at a much cheaper price, toting our own selves around. Obviously if you have kids and car seats and stuff, that's not going to be like doable, but that was a much cheaper way for 2 young people with a lot of energy and to do things, experience things a lot cheaper. I remember we were going to like Volcanoes National Park, and then they were doing a zoo, and I was like, well, I want to do both of those things, and they were like, we're only doing one. So, and like me and Jason's always been able to like kind of knock stuff out of the way. I don't stand and gawk for age. I guess you can, like, if that's your thing, you do you. But like once I seen it, it's like, let's move on with our lives. So we were in Volcanoes National Park, a couple hours, like got out, looked at the volcanoes, walked through those lava tubes. Then we just bebopped right down to the zoo, and it wasn't a huge zoo. I mean, but it was very nice, and I'm glad I got to see it. So those are always things you can look into, and like obviously your travel agent, I'm sure that's an expense you can plan for in advance. Melissa would know about your ports and things. So.
Definitely. I do suggest that, and that is an option. You have to make sure like you have like a watch, or like your phone stays on like the ship time so you don't get left behind. But for people like you, I can see, and me, like, cause I'm very OCD about that. I'm always prepared. Like you say, I always overpack any kind of medication you might need, or anything you might need, come to me before you go and buy it. Cause everybody's like, why are you bringing all that? And then they come to me later and they're like, hey, do you have it? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I knew you would have it. I'm like,
my dad had a kidney stone the last time we were in Disney, and he was so sick, and they didn't take his insurance. So it was going to be like a huge out of pocket, so now I have all of the components to the stuff that they do for kidney stone, and you better believe she's taking that with us. So yeah,
Yep, I get kidney
we're well
stones.
prepared.
I get kidney stones, and I take the medicine that they have given me everywhere I go, just in case, because you never know when one of them's going to hit you. We're going to share some of our crazy travel stories. We've had a crazy travel story episode in the past, where Heather shared how she ran into a door in the train station. Which was a pretty funny story. So, listeners, if you have not heard that one, you need to go back and find that episode and listen, because you will probably laugh till you cry. I laughed my head off. So, do you guys have any crazy or funny travel stories? Melissa, you got one?
Yeah, I do. I just recently, probably not recently, I wish recently, but like a couple years ago, my cousin, her husband, and my spouse, we went to Europe. So we like looked everything up, had everything pre-planned. And then we like had maps and everything, and we were so confident we knew exactly where we were going. Well, we were like walked probably a mile or two, and we're like, oh yeah, we're getting up to our little Airbnb that we had. We had walked in the complete wrong direction.
Oh no.
We thought we were so prepared, and somehow we just got confused and went in like a different direction. So we were I think we were more than a mile away from our Airbnb, like in the complete opposite direction.
That's awful. What city were y'all in?
We were in London for that, but we flew into London, and then we spent like about a week there, and then we went to Rome and then Barcelona.
Oh wow, that sounds like an awesome trip.
It was.
Aside from the going in the wrong direction.
We knew, we were like, oh, it's right here on the left, and like we look at the numbers on the house, and like we go and like get ready to like enter in the code, and there's like not a code like box where you put the code in, and we're like, what? And then we like look at the numbers, they don't match up, and we're like, what's going on? Because we just knew we were going the correct direction.
So y'all were about to roll up in someone's like actual house.
Friends.
That would have been so funny. I mean, not funny, but it would have been funny.
Yeah. Hey, we're home. We're here.
Oh my goodness. What about
I can
you,
totally
Cassie?
relate. I'm super directionally challenged. I can't. Even like if you get it on Google, I just recently found out on a trip to Washington D.C. Like you can set your little man to walk, and he'll kind of tell you. And even like you can hit the thing, and it'll show you pictures of what it should look like in the way that you are walking. So just a little tidbit for people if you are directionally challenged like me. I used to do home health for like 15 years, and when people was giving me directions, they'd say, oh, you can't miss it, and I'd say, you don't know me. So I can 100% miss it. But yes, recently this weekend we went to Memphis, and so it was like, I feel like every travel story I have is a crazy travel story, because my family's like traveling with the Beverly Hillbillies. Like really, it's not, I'm not even exaggerating. So we, my son didn't have school, so we went down, and we were like, I had this all planned out. We had been to the Country Music Hall of Fame before, so like it wasn't no big deal. But I took my sister and my mom and dad, and then for the first time, we get about halfway through, and my son's like, my stomach don't feel good. And I was like, well, you didn't eat breakfast, like I said, and you were in the back of that car, and you probably a little car sick. Puked all over the middle of the Country Music Hall of Fame. I mean, just all over the place. It was all over, and like they're the age, like we don't pack extra clothes. He's 11 years old. And so many places now don't have paper towels in the bathrooms. Like I don't know who we could petition to change this, but this, like, we need some paper towels in the bathrooms, okay?
Yeah, you can't use a blower for throw.
And when that toilet paper just starts disintegrating, like, when you get it wet. But yeah, absolutely. Also on the same trip, so we rented a car to take, and it was a much fancier car than, we are used to, obviously. And so me and my husband go out early one morning while everybody's getting ready, and we're like, hey, we're just going to run in here, and I'm going to get a coffee, and we'll be right back. And so we were in the trunk looking for something that somebody wanted, and we couldn't find the button to close the trunk. And I guess between walking from the trunk to the front, both of us just forgot that the trunk was up. And so we're just, getting down through Nashville, and I kept thinking, this is such a fancy car to have so much wind noise. You know, then we got to a stoplight and noticed that the trunk was up, and I was like, oh my God, is all of our stuff all over this road? Oh my God. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Thank goodness.
So,
Thank
but
goodness.
to make matters worse, when we went back in the hotel, the lady that was working the front desk and her boss had a good laugh about it. They were like, hey, we tried to stop you, but y'all just shot out of here so fast. And she said, did you not hear it up? And I said, I just thought it was a lot of wind noise in that car. I said, that's not our usual ride. So we found the button. Like, but you know.
That's why. If you had already had to be in, you would have known.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would have been on it.
Yeah.
Thank goodness your stuff didn't roll out of the back, because if there's one place you don't want to lose all your stuff going down the road, it's probably Memphis.
Yeah,
This is,
yeah.
an adventure. So one of my crazy stories, this was, gosh, my kids were little, so this was probably 10, 12 years ago. We had gone with some friends down to the beach for the weekend, and while we were down there, like a mild tropical storm was supposed to come through, so we were gonna get like one good beach day, and being the beach girl that I am, I was like, I am just gonna soak up every single second in the sun that I can get on this one day, because then this, tropical storm's gonna come through. We're not gonna have any more like beach opportunities. So I have to get it all in today. So I stayed out every second I could. Even when we went back to like the house we were staying at, they had like a deck and chairs out there, and I was outside in the chairs, even when we weren't on the beach. Well, my body did not appreciate that. And I got sun poisoning. And I had never, I grew up in Florida. I have spent many hours on the beach. I had never gotten sun poisoning. And I was so sick. I was like throwing up. I had a headache. My whole body hurt. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. And then I was mad at myself, because I was like, I can't even go outside now because I got sun poisoning. Trying to soak up all the sun that I could. Like, it was so dumb. And
besides,
and we had scheduled family pictures for the next day, like the next evening on the beach. So I had to like drag myself out of bed and then do family pictures in the heat when I already felt terrible. And the whole time I was just like trying not to puke and like also keep my kids from like losing their minds. It was terrible. It was so bad. It was so bad. I've never done that again. I've learned my lesson. But yeah, it was miserable. Speaking of family pictures, with my two oldest, this is another kind of funny story. And I need to see if I can find the pictures and attach them to this podcast. But it seems like the best laid plans for like beach family pictures when your kids are little just always go awry. It's never good. I didn't even have my two younger kids. My two oldest ones were like 4 and 1 or something. And my son, when he was a baby, hated the beach. He didn't even want, like, I had to roll him out in his stroller. He wouldn't even let me sit him down on like the blanket, because if he even got near the sand, if he even thought that the sand might get near it, he would freak out. So he just sat in the stroller the whole entire time. Well, I went down with my friend and her son, and we got this brilliant idea that we were going to take, like, at sunset, we're going to take the kids down to the beach and, put them in these cute little outfits and take little pictures of them and stuff. And y'all, we got them down there, drug that dumb stroller all the way through the sand, because, strollers do not roll in the sand. A regular stroller does not roll in the sand. Drug it down there. My daughter was fine. Like, she was posing. My son lost his mind. He was not having any of it. He just screamed and cried and threw a fit the whole entire time. Like, we did not get one single good picture. Every picture of them is like him having a full-on meltdown, just like he's being tortured. And she's just sitting there like so cute and smiling, just a little perfect. And he's just like, and finally we were just like, forget it. So those two experiences were probably like 10 years apart, like just enough time for the horror of the first experience to sort of fade a little bit. and then the next one, and then it was probably another 8 years before we got any pictures on the beach again, and they were all grown at that point in time, so we could like force them to smile. But trying to get the cute little kid pictures on the beach. These people, I see their little cute family photos, and I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing. What are y'all feeding these kids? How are you tricking them into this? Because this did not work for me. How about y'all? Y'all have any more stories? Any more crazy stories?
I have kind of a weird one. I thought I would tell this on our Halloween podcast at some point in time. I have went like, so, obviously my hair is like super red, and I don't think I look like anybody in particular. We went to Tennessee and we were meeting my aunt and uncle down there. And me and my boys went like a day later than they did anyway. And so we get down there and we're like, and my uncle says, the funniest thing, we were at the apple barn and we could have swore we saw you out the window. Like, she looked just like you, the same hair, the same body, the same everything. And he said, I even like checked my phone to see if maybe you guys had came early or something. And he said we hadn't, so we just kind of went on. So I didn't pay that much attention. The next day, we were on the island and I went in that Bird's Cookies or whatever it's called. I'd never been in there before. And this lady, she started talking to me like, she was like, oh, did you, you must really like the cookies. Do you want the same kind you had yesterday? And I said, yesterday? Sis, I ain't never been in here before. And she said, really? And I said, yeah. And she said, but you talked to me yesterday. And I was like, no, ma'am, that was not me. Okay. So I went in another store on the island. Can't remember. I think it was the mercantile store. And one of the ladies in there, she said something casually. And I said, did you see me yesterday? She said, I did. We talked yesterday. Do you remember? And I was like, wasn't me. It wasn't me, sis. Like, I don't know what was going on in Tennessee. I don't know if like I was too close to the time thing or whatever was happening, but my twin was down there. I don't ever get told like I look like anybody or anybody sees my twin. But like it was 3 separate occasions and I was like, it's a little strange. But yeah.
That is
anybody
crazy.
ever talk to their doppelganger? Like I didn't never see her, but a lot of people apparently saw her.
That is so, and to have it happen 3 different times in 3 different places, that is freaky. That is. I don't know what to think about that, Cassie. That's kind of creepy.
Definitely weird. I just thought it was weird. That's one of the weirder things because I usually don't talk, to a lot of people, but like these ladies were like chatting me up. Like apparently my twin is a talker. So
you had all kind of new friends. You didn't even know it.
That's really interesting too, because like you have a unique accent. You don't have a common hair color. Like, interesting. Wow. Melissa,
whenever you were telling the story about like the tropical storm, it made me think one time I went on this cruise and it was, of course, in October during hurricane season. But I was like, it's hit or miss. We don't really if we get a hurricane, we get a hurricane. But sometimes, we'll slide by. And I was like, so far, there's no hurricanes projected. So I booked it. I was like, it's next week. Hopefully I'll slide through. I get on there. We're literally, a hurricane pops up, forms. So we're literally cruising out in the ocean. We go right by the eye of the hurricane because that's the only they went around it, but it was close. So the boat is just rocking. Usually if I'm on a cruise, I can't even tell I'm on a cruise. But that one time, that's what I tell everybody. If it's like their first cruise, don't go when it could possibly be hurricane season. But so we're at dinner one night. The people I went with, everybody, we were like, we want to have a nice dinner. So we go and eat at the steakhouse. So I think we had gotten wine with dinner or whatever. So my friend, we're just sitting there. And then I looked over at my friend's wine glass. And normally a wine glass would be like this. It's literally like tipped. Like thank goodness he had started drinking some of it. It was like about to be in his lap. And like most of the people we were with, they were getting seasick. They got nauseous. Thank goodness I did not, but like couldn't even believe it happened. Because
that's crazy.
on cruises you can track, and then it was like the eye of the storm's here, and then we were like right there, and I was like,
That's kind of scary. Did you end up having?
Scenario.
Yeah, seriously. Did you end up having any like good days on that cruise?
we did. It was, so I guess it was I don't know why I wanted such a long cruise. I guess I was really being risky, but it was a 7-day cruise. So the first 5 days were fine. There was like some light rain, no issues. But days 6 and 7, like on the way back, is when it, and it was bad.
Yeah, that sounds like it. At least you didn't have the poop cruise.
Yes, thank goodness. I know, I watched that Netflix show. I was like, oh,
I did too, and I was traumatized by it.
I know.
It's crazy. Hopefully, the cruise companies have learned lessons from that. I'm sure they did, because that was insane. Well, thank y'all for sharing with us today, sharing your stories and your tips. And I'm sure that we will continue to have many more fun stories and adventures to share with our listeners as we travel more. And I'm so glad that Cassie and Melissa, that you could both join us today. So thank you for being here. And we will see y'all next week. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Travel Bug Girls podcast. Be sure to subscribe to get our new episodes every week. We'd love to connect with you on social media. Share your answer to this week's podcast question with us at facebook.com/travelbuggirls. You can find us on your favorite social media by using @travelbuggirls. Want to join our VIP group? You'll find us on Facebook groups under TBG Travel Bugs. Learn more about the Travel Bug Girls and what we do on our website at travelbuggirls.com. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and safe travels. Calling all fall enthusiasts and lovers of all things spooky. Join us for 3 days of spooky girl fun in the enchanting town of Salem, Massachusetts, led by our very own travel bug girl, Cassie. This trip is designed for women who revel in the magic of autumn, the thrill of ghostly tales, and the tantalizing history of witches. Your adventure includes 3 nights in a cozy hotel, transportation, a spine-tingling ghost tour, and a guided visit to the iconic Hocus Pocus filming locations. Plus, you'll receive a custom swag bag made just for you. With time to explore Salem's historic streets and vibrant fall atmosphere, this trip promises to be a bewitching experience you'll never forget. Join us this October for our spooky Salem Girls Trip. For more information, visit travelbuggirls.com. That's travelbuggirls.com.